All right. Hello, 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 everybody. We have one more person joining us. I'm going to play this song right quick that I'm really excited about. Hello, viewers. Hello, viewers. Come on in. Come on in. We have a great topic tonight. I'm so excited to speak with these lovely women, the queens we have on the panel tonight. So excited to talk with them about um, our topic for tonight. Very quickly, I'm going to play the song of mine because I am super excited about it. The opportunity to collaborate with Common and PJ on this song. Of course, I did my part in my own little up and coming little wannabe studio. Probably nothing like theirs. I'm sure they spent some money, that I don't have. Not yet, anyway. Not right now. But anyway, I'm gonna play this track really quick. All right, because I think it's very fitting for what we're going to be talking about tonight. And then later on, we're going to be playing some music from some of our other panelists. All right. So y'all enjoy it while we wait for everybody to come online. Going to is that the one? Sure. Yes, it is. Okay. Can y'all hear everything okay? Thumbs up if you can hear it. Dreaming of a paradise, somewhere a little paradise, where I wanna be. Let's travel to the greener side, a lovely place inside my mind. Don't you wanna see?
Imagine layers in a game where we all players. No more stargazing or police car chasing. Imagine Lauryn Hill type of singers. Even the righteous schemers still let Christ redeem us. Life is greener on this side. The beauty that we see be coming from inside. Imagine if you a god and she a goddess. People get free, locked up from weed charges. We no longer targets or bodies on the market. Clean water coming out of Flint faucets. It's awesome. Not being petty, but got petty cash. Everything on the path we already have. Imagine having a woman like Betty Shabazz, steady with class, ready to blast till the chariots pass. To take me to my new destination, I think in miracles. It's my imagination.
Been dreaming of a paradise, somewhere a little paradise, where I wanna be. Let's travel to the greener side, a lovely place inside my mind. Don't you wanna see? I wanna see paradise. Everybody used to jollof rice. Being homeless ain't nothing nice. There should be no empty bellies. Nah, that ain't right. All we need is some give and take. Let's bring the kingdom down. Let's win our race, so the next leg can chill a bit. Share some grace and keep it lit. What? Promised land is where I'll go. All the righteous ones clothed in gold come off the throne to join the bonfire. Even the Messiah. Where you wanna go, what you wanna do. Alright, it's cool. Get ready for the day. I've been dreaming of a paradise, somewhere a little paradise, where I wanna be. Let's travel to the greener side, a lovely place inside my mind. Don't you wanna see? Good times without no care. Won't you let me take you there? Don't you wanna come with me? Don't you wanna come and see? Good times without no care. Won't you let me take you there? Don't you wanna come with me? Don't you wanna come and see? Mm-hmm. Y'all know
Mm.
if you go to Common's website, you can actually download that song and put your verse to it. So just putting that out there. You know, you can do it too. You can do it too. All right.
Very
Still
nice.
waiting on the sister to come in. I thought I sent the email and didn't send it. So
You
she
pull one of my numbers, huh?
she should be finding the email now. Ooh, I can't believe I did that. All right.
Happens to the best of us, Queen.
All right. Have you heard that new song Majesty? The sound is double. Uh-oh. So it sound
Yeah,
like
it's doing something there.
the sound was messed up.
Yeah, for a minute, but then it seemed like it fixed itself in the end, toward the end. It was
Okay.
like as if it was playing two different, like a second behind itself or something.
All right. So let's go ahead and introduce Jetty, right? She's our special guest tonight. We are so glad to have her. She has a lot of great things going on. Um,
Woo!
yes. I ran across Jetty. I ran across her music initially, but she is definitely um, has some more wonderful things going on. She has some property that she is building up to do some great things for the community. She has some property in Belize as well. Um, we're definitely working on some business things, so I definitely want to draw attention to that. Jetty, do you mind going ahead and introducing yourself to everyone?
Sure. Well, I'm Jetty. Hi, guys. Um, to give my title, I'm technically Empress Jetty. Um, Something that maybe we'll have opportunity to talk about at some point, in terms of reclaiming your indigenous status and thing like that. That stuff's important. Um, but it's just Jetty. You don't have to call me Empress unless you insist. Uh, so I'm 48 and I am from outside of Philly, about 45. I'm actually from Philly, but kind of from Philly, from outside of Philly. My mom was from Philly, my dad was from outside of Philly. So kind of grew up between the two, but most of my growing up happened outside of Philly. Um, and I'm just a called out person who loves righteousness, loves serving the Most High, and has been led to be a bit of a pioneer to show people the kind of things that are possible when you do, what the Most High calls you to do. So the most recent 5 years of my life have been spent in Belize, doing some cool stuff down there, learning some really good lessons. And I'm back here stateside, and that's going pretty freaking fabulous, even though it's winter time. To put in perspective, I absolutely loathe winter, which is why I was all the way in Belize. Well, one of the reasons. And so I swore I would never come back here in the winter unless the Most High forced me. And the Most High didn't really force me, but definitely made it clear that this is where I belonged. And I'm loving life so much. It's so funny because I'm not even mad that it's winter. So I'm just like, oh, it's just a little cold. Life's great.
Absolutely.
So that's it. I'm a mom of five biological children and four. No, okay. I hope this doesn't offend anybody, but I'm going to say it how I say it. I have two grandbabies and two grandcavies. So I have two grandchildren. My grandson's 11, and then Sage is, let's see, Zara's 9. That means Sage is 8, and the twins are like just over a year. So
You
I got.
have a podcast too, right? Tell us about your podcast.
Yeah, it's well, the content's pretty cool, but it's pretty lame in terms of I'm not super consistent with it. But you can find me on Anchor. It's Black Enlightainment. Also, I think I'm still on WordPress with that same name, Black Enlightainment. So that's pretty good. I like doing it, but it's tricky with being consistent because I don't want to get on and just talk about anything just to make content. So I need to find a way to be um, both spirit led and consistent with that. But it is pretty cool. You'll find some cool content on there if you're a person who just likes to take, I guess I would say, an alternative examination of scripture, just kind of from a different perspective than we've all, or not we've all, but many of us have been really indoctrinated to view scripture. So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Right. Okay. Wonderful. Wonderful. And won't you tell us about what you're doing in Belize, right? Because don't you have some property you're selling in Belize? You know, there's
So
some investment opportunities there for those watching.
yeah, Belize is such a wonderfully rich place for Black investors. A lot of people don't know about Belize, so I'll just share a few um, little things that typically people don't know. Belize is it's in the Caribbean, but it's not an island. If you leave Houston and you drive south, you'll eventually end up in Belize. Like 2 days later, 2 years later, 2 days later, you'll end up in Belize. If you just drive south from Houston and just keep going south, you're going to drive through Mexico and then you're going to pop out of the southern part of Mexico in Belize. It's an English speaking country, and the true original population, like Belize, is going to remind you of like Jamaica and the rest of the Caribbean. They're deeply melanated people. But in the last, you know, I guess since this, there's always been mine influx, but I guess it's really kind of ramped up in the last, like, probably in my lifetime. So that now there's a very mixed population there. And then, of course, there's like your snowbirds, your people from like Canada and US and places that have migrated there also. There's a strong, um, like a large Mennonite population down there that farms and things like that. So I'm saying all this to say that as a Black person on the planet, um, there's not a lot of spaces we can go where we're just a person and not a Black person. You're just a person, and um, and that's even tricky. Like in parts of Africa, like lots of places, your humanity gets lost in whatever is going on in the world. And so I found Belize to be a very wholesome place to be Black. Um, to be kind of Black and natural and progressive minded. There is crazy opportunity for absolutely any business you would want to open there because it is super undeveloped. So anything that you like could think of, I'd like to open up, they could use it. Like they could, I'm sure they could use it. So I say all that to say, if you are in a position and you have the opportunity, get your hands on some land down there. One of the really cool things about Belize is they do not have capital gains taxes. And if you don't know what that means, it's like this. If I buy a piece of land for $100 and then I fix it up and it's worth $1,000 after I fix it up, a capital gains tax would be that my taxes increase with the value of the land. But if you don't have capital gain taxes, what that means is whatever price you purchase that land for, you will continue to pay that same tax rate. Now, unfortunately for Belize, this is one of the ways that the government is getting absolutely taken by foreign investors. But for the small man, right, for the average person or the, I'd say, mid-sized investor, it's really a big selling point for investing in Belize, right? Um, but it's the land is rich, right? You've got lots of virgin soil. You've got lots of good hard, like if you were to buy an acre of bush, like which is like jungle, and it's a real jungle. Like there's like jaguars, okay, and it's like real, okay. But if you were to buy an acre of jungle, chances are you're going to have hardwoods on the, like there so much of the indigenous fauna, no, flora, fauna or animal, flora are like high value cash crops, right? So there's lots of undeveloped land there that is just waiting for Belize to really, I guess, develop her identity on the global scene, because the country is only like 40 years old. It's a really, in terms of independence, and it's still tricky if you could call it independent, because it is a member of a Commonwealth, and that's even something that's kind of rolling around in um, political conversations now, if they want to leave the Commonwealth. But they speak English, which is super cool. Of course, it's like a Creole, right? So it takes some getting used to understanding the way that they're using English. But if you can talk to island people, you can talk to Belizean people. Um, so we recently acquired 16 acres. A group of families acquired 16 acres. About right now, there's a road that's not cut through that will eventually be. So as it stands now, you kind of have to take, quote unquote, hi sis, you have to take like the long way around, and that long way is under 10 minutes from our property to the Caribbean Sea. When they push this road through, it'll be like under 5 minute drive to the sea. um, so I'm not just telling you guys this, you be like, oh my gosh, I wish I had land in the Caribbean, except that I hope that you are saying, oh my God, I wish I had land in the Caribbean, because there's plots near us the same size, or double plots. So some of them are 16 acres, and there may be a couple of 32s. I know one 32-acre one that was available recently. But if you do not use a real estate agent and you talk to someone like me, or I mean, it doesn't have to be me, but someone like me who connects buyers to people who don't want to get involved in real estate agents and banks and this and that, you can get like an acre of bush for anywhere between 700, $700 per acre, up into like the $1,500 per acre, if you buy um, like more than 10 acres, right? Like if you buy one of these 16-acre plots. Now, if you were to just go and just you, your personal self, want, let's say you don't want to be, um, burdened with that much land, as if that could be a thing, burdened with land, but whatever, let's say it's just too much for you to take on and you just wanted to buy an acre for yourself, that's going to average you around 4,000 US dollars for like an acre of land in this general area of Punta Gorda, PG, which is the one of the far southern seaside towns in Belize. But there are the other parts of Belize are no less impressive and no less beautiful, and you can definitely find even better land deals than that if you're a patient person, and if you do like how we do. I'm not an agent, I'm not a broker, I'm not anything like that. I'm just a person who talks to people. So there's really cool opportunities to help some folks out, because a lot of folks there have been holding out and not selling land for much more than they're selling it for, because they've been holding out and trying to resist colonization and resist gentrification. So they're waiting on us, right? They're like, what's up with the Black Americans? Why aren't they, we waiting on them. So there's like, I guess, under the table or black market deals or whatever you want to call it, that are there for us just because they want us to be the ones to build their nation with them. They've had their run with the usual, colonizers, I guess you could say, and they are disenamored. So they're looking for our investment and energy and all that stuff. So if
Right.
Belize interests you, hit me up.
And Belize is a beautiful place. If you aren't familiar with Belize, it's a beautiful place. Somewhere you can definitely go, and if you want to set up your off-grid setup, you can definitely do that in Belize. Um,
Like that's what people do. They buy up like one of these 16-acre plots and get a couple friends, they slap some cabins up, they go from there. I mean, it ain't like that's easy to do. Like it's real work. Like it's an adjustment, but it's a wonderful place to do it. It's
yes,
very
it is.
it's
I mean,
very
of course, you have to deal with, you have to clear the land. So I just want to give everybody a realistic expectations,
Mhm.
because I understand some people probably, they haven't. There's some people out here that haven't looked at land, even here in the States that may be considering that, you do have to clear the property. You can do it yourself, if you want to
We
put some
did it
sweat into
ourselves.
it, you can
Well, I
definitely
say
do it
we, but
yourself.
by we I mean the men. Okay, my son and the guys. But yeah, we did ours ourselves. We hired a couple guys, but it's something like clearing the land. It's expensive if you're taking down big trees, but if you're just taking down the underbrush, which is what I suggest anyway. But it's whatever. It's a lot less expensive. You could just hire some guys. They go out there with a machete, a couple machetes,
Mhm.
and you're talking about maybe $100 to like maybe clear an acre. Like in real life, it's not like a lot of money.
Not
Um,
in Belize anyway. It's much more affordable in Belize.
yeah,
Um,
everything is, well, no, not everything.
yeah, not everything.
Gasoline, like for your vehicle, is not. Like right now in Belize, or when I left Belize, they were paying like almost $11, 11 Belize dollars per gallon for gas, which is $5.50 US.
Okay, yeah, that's
So right, that's a crazy number for a place where the minimum wage is like still $4 and something Belize. So $2.
and they don't really have public. They do have public transportation though, don't they?
Mhm. Yeah, yeah,
Okay, okay,
yeah.
okay.
And that's pretty good. It's pretty efficient. It got me everywhere I needed to go, even up to our farm in the mountains,
Okay, that's
Um,
what's up. Because you can in America, you can't get to rural places with public
Well,
transportation.
I mean, I don't mean to say that it can reach every part of the country because there are some people that are just way out there and they just kind of stuck because it's very
Off
undeveloped.
grid.
Right, but you can get to the main, like areas, and I don't know. I didn't have any problem getting around. But
Wonderful,
of course, I don't do much road running, but in general,
wonderful. So
yeah,
definitely, me and my family will definitely be talking to you more about that,
yeah,
for sure.
yeah, definitely. Don't sleep on it because I'm
I
going to
will
tell you
not.
what's happening. Literally, there are groups of other types of people who send their friends down with checkbooks in hand and they say, buy up what you can. And you've
Mhm.
got people that are telling them they don't know about anything for sale while they're waiting to hear back from people like me who they've said, I've got 16 acres if you know anybody, right? And in truth, people are getting desperate, and our people don't move like how other people move. We want to think about it, we want to go check it
Mhm.
out, and then we want to go talk about it, and we want to
Of
think.
course. Yeah.
And it's not that kind of environment. Like for this kind of stuff that I'm talking about, this little few $100s per acre for like we're talking
It's
prime.
gonna go. Yeah, it's gonna go fast.
Yeah, yeah. I've seen stuff like just. I mean, I was down there for 5 years, so but I saw a lot like you know move. Saw a lot of land move, change
Right.
hands.
Now I definitely advise people go check it out. Definitely, if you haven't been to Belize, I'm sure the sister can tell you where to go. Hopefully you have your passport and everything ready. If you're gonna buy property overseas, you want to already have your passport and everything ready so you can go down there, and shake hands, and pay your pay your money, you know. So
And
definitely,
Belize is close enough that you can do it like in a long weekend, just even if you just wanted to
absolutely
check out the country, right? You could zip
right.
down there. It's like a couple hours from Miami, the flight, or like a
Or
couple
spend a
hours.
couple of weeks. It's a beautiful place to vacation.
It seriously is. It's such a lovely, lovely place. So
Yeah, soon I'm gonna be telling y'all to come on vacation at my spot.
I know that's right. And listen, and if you're not really thinking like you want to purchase land and like relocate or any of that, but you would like to know what types of investment opportunities there are there, one thing that one of the main things that I did when I was in Belize was partner investors with landholders. So, like some Belizean person, let's call her Mary, has an acre of land. She ain't doing nothing with. She got a little house on it, but for the most part, it's just bush. And then you come along, and for a few $100s, you plant up her acre with hardwoods, coconut, cacao. There's like certain like trees, right? Indigenous trees. And then you two will split the cost of maintaining them, which is very, 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 very little because they're indigenous trees. Like what's to do. Let it grow, you know. And then, I mean, every now and then you might run into like some trouble with like some little aphids or things like that. But for the most part, it's a very low maintenance situation. And then at the time of harvest, whether if they're hardwoods, would be the time that you're going to cut them down and sell the lumber. But in the case of like, let's say coconut or something like that, when harvest happens, then you and that landholder would evenly split all the profits. So that's a way to support Belizeans who could use support in developing small farms, and a way to um, get yourself so that when you want to go to Belize, right, you have legitimacy in going. You're an investor, right? You're not just you're not a tourist, although you probably would still go in on a tourist visa. It kind of makes a difference in terms of how freely you move, what, you know, like how deeply invested in the country you are. So going, if you were going to go or want to be able to have that kind of like freedom of movement there, it definitely doesn't hurt to be an investor. And just for a few $100 you could really um, you know, make a big impact on like one family's life. I think we were going over the numbers for like something like mahogany, and I think, what did we say? Like an acre of mahogany is a few $1 million if harvested at 25 years, right? So that's like a game changer. Like in one swift planting of mahogany, 25 years later, your family are millionaires. You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's not fast money, but
Right.
when you, if you're talking about coconuts and things like that, now that's not a 20. You don't have to wait 25 years to
5 years
to
later,
see
your family
that.
are millionaires. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Well, you don't really want fast money anyway. I
yeah,
mean,
easy come, easy.
I know when you're coming from a place of poverty, you kind of are wanting that, but that's not how wealth is built. You know, wealth is built over generations.
Correct.
So, you know, we have to think beyond ourselves. You know, we have to think beyond right now and just the next couple weeks. We have to really think beyond that because you know your children and your grandchildren, all of them are dependent on you so that they're not in the same situation you're in right now. You
Hmm.
know, and I understand we really all should be getting some reparations because those that are rich in this country, you know, most of them are rich off of our backs.
Hmm.
So, you know, in the backs of our ancestors who were slaves and you know, we were never rightfully compensated. So a lot of us are struggling because, you know, we came here as slaves, you know, and we're made to struggle, you know. Of course, you know, we do have some decisions now to make and some options now, a lot of us do, you know, so there are no excuses anymore. You know, the opportunities are out there. You know, we have to be wise. We have to be wise and understand, you know, we have to understand who our enemy is so that we don't fall into these traps and set our seed up for failure, you know?
Yes, that's the truth right there.
Absolutely. And all right, so I want to give let's I'm sorry, I got lost on this computer. I can't find y'all. There you go. I was looking at some other stuff and got lost. Okay. Um, so what I want to say is let me go ahead and introduce Enzi. Enzi, welcome, 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 welcome to the table.
Nancy.
All right, Enzi is another artist. You know, she is introverted, but we are glad to have her on board. Most certainly glad to have her on board. Her family has some properties in Memphis. You know, we've been talking about. You know, there's a tax issue going on, and they were
Mm.
trying to make sure they don't lose the property. But I think now they're just thinking about just going a whole different route at this point. So I'm gonna let Enzi introduce herself and you know share with us what her story and her GoFundMe and everything like that.
Okay. Peace, everyone. Um, so my given name is Akili. I go by NG. That's it's also a given name, but like a tribal name. I use it as my artist name. Um,
You sound a little low, Akili. You sound a little low. Let's see if we can turn you up.
Let's see. How about now?
A little better. Mm.
Let me see. I'm gonna turn you up. Go
Right.
ahead.
Yeah. What about now? Let me see if I. It might be my headphones. So.
Okay, I got you turned up. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, first of all, can you hear this dog in the background?
Oh, that's not a problem. That's not a problem.
Um. Okay. So yes, my name is Achilles NZ. I go by NZ. And so like Nanu was saying, there's this property that's been in my family since the 90s. My grandmother purchased the building in the 90s, and we opened up a soul food restaurant. And it functioned as a restaurant for a while, and then a lot of the family kind of moved around, grew up, parted ways, and so the bulk of it kind of, I think, ended up being on my grandma, and she just didn't want to continue with the restaurant anymore. But her passion is education and history, so she wanted to continue to use the place for events like Kwanzaa events, bring in um, different speakers for like lectures, and just to have like different classes for the community. Um, I honestly don't know when the building became to a point where it was inhabitable to where like she had to really close the doors, and it's just been sitting for a while. But wait a minute, am I okay? I don't know why everybody else disappeared. Okay,
We're still here. I just put you on the main screen. We're listening to your story.
okay,
We're all still here. We're just
okay.
listening to you. That's all.
All right. Um, so yes, I don't know when that happened because I was away myself. And so with me kind of coming back home from being in the military, being away in the military, and really tapping back into my family, just a lot of things were being uncovered about like the building. And so then I said, okay, well, since I'm here and I have found somewhat stability for myself, I'm going to tap back in with my grandmother and help her with the restaurant because, to be honest, like a lot of the family, just it was hard because there's a lot of history there. So, um, in doing so, we went to the tax office to see about, getting my name on some paperwork, getting a new plan together, and then that's when we were told, this building is being sold in February, and this was December 17th or something, when we were told. So then I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I don't want to panic. I don't want my grandmother to panic because a lot of this building is tied into her health, to her heart. And so I've been working with her in her heart, and just trying to build her strength back and rediscover just a new sense of self worth for her because I don't want it to be tied in to that building. Um, um, so the GoFundMe was doing pretty good for it to be just the first week of it being kind of like floating around and stuff. Almost got up to 1K, and then I decided that that wasn't what we needed to do with our resources, with our time, and with our love, um, because it's been such a hole that over time has been dug, and I don't think it's fair on uh, me or anyone else to try to move the building from out of their hole. I think it's there because a lot of things were done alone, and that's just not. I don't work. I'm a different breed. I'm definitely the generational pattern breaker of my family. I do everything my own kind of way, and with me seeing just how much the restaurant affected my grandmother, I know that my heart and my passion is in connecting, in community, in love, and in people, and I just want to create another space like uh create another space like that, like she had, but just ensure the heart of it is a healthy heart this time, instead of one trying to do it all by my trying to fight. And this that fighting and struggling has been something that's just been going on for a really long time, and we're really good at it. And I'm at this point in my life now where I'm finding ways to make space for the things that I want versus trying to force those things into my space with with you know with other things that I don't necessarily need. So um, they just took me somewhere else. So that's why I kind of need y'all face to be right here to keep me kind of like
No, you're doing great.
remind me.
You're doing great, sis. We listening to you. You know, you taking us through your journey. You know, this has been
Yes,
a learning experience for you, and other people can learn as well. Other people can learn as well. We could tell this. This is something that hurt you deeply, and you had some reflection. You
Yes,
just sharing with us what you've learned from your reflection. That's
yes.
awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. It's amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for being open.
Hmm.
Definitely. Because other people, everybody's not there. Everybody's not there. You're a leader in your own right, you know. I wouldn't invited you on the show if you was. You're a leader in your own right. There's other people who need to hear what you're saying. Other young people that need to know that we can break those generational curses. We can do things differently. We don't have to be conventional. We don't have to do things the way that they've been done. If you want a different result, we have to do things differently. If we want a different result, we have to do things from a place of um purpose, from a place of power, and definitely from a place of praise as well. We have to. And the thing about it is, what you're saying is very powerful, about not struggling, trying to do everything on your own. Absolutely, because that's not utilizing all your strength. My husband tells me this story all the time, a story that a lesson his grandfather taught him. His wise grandfather that was just a beautiful man. I only know stories about him. I never got to meet him, unfortunately, but I'm in love with him from the stories. So he taught him this lesson. He told him to pick up this table, and he couldn't pick the table up. The table was a big table, big solid wood, antique table. So he's trying to pick it up. Grandpa said, "Yes, you can. You can pick that table up. Pick that table up." He's like, "I can't pick this table up, Grandpa. I can't pick this table up." He said, "You're not using all your strength. You're not using all your strength. Go get your cousins. Go get your cousins. Tell them to help you do what I asked you to do, and then you're using all your strength." So definitely, we're all cousins. If you are melanin dominant, we are cousins. We are blood relatives, and we have to understand that, and reach out, and branch out. And I know you're an introvert like me, so that's something that we have to almost force ourselves to do, and really make an effort to connect with other people, and be obedient to spirit too. But we have to connect with other people, like-minded people, and find your tribe, because you're not alone. You're not alone. And I think we all need to understand that we're not alone. We're in this together. And every decision that we make, even monetarily, we need to be making decisions with the mindset that, you know, Yeah, unfortunately so. Your whole race is dependent on you, you know. Your seed is dependent on you, and also the black race is dependent on you, because that's where we at right now. God's people are dependent on you to make the right decision. We don't understand, a lot of us are gatekeepers, you know, and if it gets by you, then guess what? There's how many other folk did that get to now because you didn't stop it at the gate. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if grandma would have stopped it at the gate, you know, how many, how many right now could be living it up, and having inheritance, and, be sharing more inheritances, because we all need shoulders to stand on, but a lot of us, we're standing on shoulders, that are humped over and bent over from oppression, and prejudice and everything else, and going along with the status quo, doing what's conventional, conventional and convenient. And you're right, it is time for us to change that storyline for sure. Ebony, I wonder, are you with us? Are you with us, Ebony? I don't know if she's there or not. She has about 6 babies over there, and and I know she does her little business thing at night as well. So she's gonna pop in whenever she can. Okay, that's Ebony right there. She is a soldier. She is a soldier. Ebony, Miss Ebony, she's a Hebrew Israelite. She's a part of the homeschool co-op we're all a part of together. Um, and we it's a virtual homeschool co-op, and we're interdependent, and we all teach classes, different classes. And speaking of using all your strength, that's what we're trying to do as when it comes to educating our children, because the children are the future, and we all have to make sure we're leaving an inheritance for our children. That's something your enemy wants to prevent. Yes, they do. They definitely want to prevent that by any means necessary. That's why it wasn't no issue until they saw that she was trying to raise up the generation behind her. Then it became an issue, you see. And they said, "Oh no, you ain't paid this. I don't care what kind of plan we made with you. This is becoming something revolutionary, and we're gonna have to stop that." And that's what happens. We don't understand who our enemy is, and we don't hold them accountable. Okay, let's get this on paper, because I know I can't trust you because you got blue eyes. Look at here. Look at here. We gotta know. We have to know. Don't get caught up, because you get caught up, and hey, millenniums. You got millenniums of history to learn from. We really don't have any more. We don't have no reason to have any excuses. We really don't. We really don't. All right. So I know we already talking about Black economics right now. So we're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going with the Black economics. Let's talk about some conventional things that keep us stuck. One of those conventional things is coming right around the corner, which is the holidays, which is Christmas. Christmas, Black Friday was set up, to get Black people's resources, so get their write-offs going, make sure they got rid of their little inventory, what they couldn't sell to their peoples, they want to make sure we get the last bit of it, everything that's going out of date and all of that good stuff. Um, and we running going to get it because we trying to keep up with the Beckys. I'm sorry. I'm going off right now.
Like, I'm so tired of it. Like, when are our people gonna? Oh God! Like, we chase anything they dangle in front of us, we run after it, and it's really unfortunate, because we're so much better when we just walk in our authentic selves, and it don't take all of that to be strong and beautiful when you're us. Like,
Right.
you don't need all that, but they got us chasing after everything to try to prove that we're socially acceptable in some way, and that society's never going to accept us. I wish our kids
No,
get over
no,
it.
they're not.
I wish we get listen. We ain't got time to get over it. Okay, listen. If you ain't over it now, baby, I don't know what to tell you. These are the last days of the last days.
Yes, that's right. And if
But
they can't get you on Black Friday, guess what? Here come Christmas.
I mean, I know. You know what? And it's a shame because I have to run out and run some errands tomorrow.
Oh my goodness.
And it like occurred to me and the kids that it's Christmas Eve tomorrow because we don't do it. So I'm like,
Mhm.
oh my God,
The
you need
store's gonna be closed. Yes, you
it's
gotta
gonna
stay on
be
top of it. They be closing the stores down, and you can't live your life.
girl,
They
listen,
gonna force you to observe their holiday.
it's gonna be
But they
so
don't close
crazy.
nothing for the holidays we celebrate.
Okay, it's gonna be so chaotic being out in that mess for just my little regular stuff. Like I just need some
Oh my
sugar.
goodness.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh my goodness.
oh
We do need a couple things. I tried to do my shopping yesterday, but I did forget a couple things. I'm like, oh no, I
yeah,
forgot to get
oh
the
no,
milk, you know.
oh no.
But I'm sure we'll be okay. And might have to just drink some water, whatever.
Yeah.
Um,
But back to your topic though, what you guys are doing is really important because one of the things that definitely undermines us as a people institutionally is the so-called education system, or as I prefer to call it, the indoctrination system. Like that is just it's literally designed to have us in the condition we're in. It's working great. That's why people, oh, America's failing black people. No, first of all, it doesn't have any commitment to you, so it can't fail you. It's designed to do what it's doing and it's working great. And the education system is really key. Like for a good couple of years, I was really, I guess you could say, hard on my followers, all nine of them, okay, for sending their children to public schools in especially in America, but in anywhere where first of all you know that racism is a real thing in the school, right? Like you know it. It's you don't need somebody to
right,
help you figure out. You know good and darn sight well that there's racism present there within administration and teachers and student bodies. You know they're teaching false curriculum that's just not useful for any thinking person and is not true, right? And then
right. They're definitely not teaching them how to be successful,
at anything
individuals. Um, they're training them to go and work in their children's
exactly.
businesses.
Exactly. Like, like I told my, I mean, my son has his first like job, like working for a company as opposed to like, friends hiring him, this or that kind of thing. But I'm telling you, I grieved for him to get a job. I don't mind it because he's got his own bread and stuff, and he has something to do with himself. But in all honesty, like I grieved for him to get a job. I'm like, listen, that's the last resort, the
Yeah.
last resort to be like
Or it means to fund, or it means to fund what you're trying to do for
get
yourself.
out of there. Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. But I don't know. Our people have a lot of we could look at so many outside um I guess influences over our financial state, but at the end of the day it boils down to, and not to go all scripture, I don't know how you know this your show is toward that
No,
end.
education is important. It starts with the babies.
Yeah,
Our children definitely need to be learning trades. If any high schoolers are watching this, think about something that you can do and make a business out of.
definitely.
Not something that you're gonna pay thousands thousands of dollars to go and work for somebody else and don't own anything, and it's
You have no
depending on whether
control
or not they're gonna
over
give
it.
you a job. you
Right, exactly. Like, why would you invest that much in a total dice roll that someone else is going to give you
It's
the
crazy.
opportunity to use it? Like, if you
Right.
want to invest
Right.
all of that time, all of that money, you do that in such a way that it's going to secure
Right.
yourself.
Right. Even if you go and get licensing for something, do it in a way that you can employ yourself,
Correct. Correct.
and be able to move and maneuver the way that you need to, and don't have to tailor your words to suit, whoever's handing you some money,
Okay.
because you
Exactly.
can't help your people like that. And that's another big problem that we do have in economically, is that a lot of us, have paid all this money to get certified, to get licenses, and we can't really help our people, you
And
know.
sure can, trying to dig their way out of debt.
We're afraid we're gonna get locked up, we're
Really
gonna get
make it.
fined, et cetera, et cetera. And that's not helping our people. And they need to share that with the youth. The youth need to know that, so they don't keep running in these same traps. So that was a trap. School education was a trap. We
Yes.
have to understand that college, in a lot of ways, is a trap.
Yes.
Especially if you're coming up from economically oppressed situation, college is going to be a trap for you, because you don't have somebody even to teach you and show you, hey, this is a skill for you to get so you can go do this for yourself,
Right.
And to help you understand what the limitations are going to be.
Mm.
So that's very important. That is so important to understand. um I think a lot of us would do so much better just studying something, finding a trade, finding a niche, doing whatever your parents, can teach you to do, and continuing in that business, creating family businesses
Yes.
that, are going to be lasting for generations. That's so important. It really
Yeah.
is.
Well,
Um,
intergenerationalism overall is like we got to bring that funky track back, man. We don't think intergenerationally. We don't spend intergenerationally. We don't plan intergenerationally. We don't process intergenerationally. Like few things can be as powerful as a few generations sitting around the table and talking about some difficult stuff that's going on in the family.
right,
If few of them
right.
generations represented at that table, you're going to have a certain kind of a talk. And so overall, like I just keep going back to the same scripture, learn not the ways of the heathens. Like we need to get back to ourselves, like who we are as original people, like not to lay all
Absolutely.
scripture and religion aside because I love Yah and I love the way. But the fact is, like original people, natural original people are gonna find we're gonna find alternative economies are going to be born from us, where it
Absolutely.
won't matter if you have a bank account or credit score or this or that. What'll matter is your reputation, your character, things like that, whether or not you have
Right.
access.
Right. Because even credit is a trap. They
Oh,
do what they want to do on your credit score. You hear me?
yeah,
They
I
make up stuff when they want to make it up. Look at here. And
know
if
it.
you don't know how to go on there and pull it and look for stuff, and to do to even they got traps for you to dispute it, and know if you dispute it this way, you ain't
You
doing
messed
nothing.
up.
You gotta really know how to dispute it. And I mean, it's just a mess.
It
It's
is.
a mess. These people are so demonic. They really are so demonic, in their the way they go out of their way to try to oppress other people, to try to oppress the earth. Speaking of that, thinking about it, really, we really, you really shouldn't even need money. You shouldn't even need money. This the whole thing is a setup, because we have everything we need. God already provided for us. We sitting here praying, God help me, God provide this. God has already provided everything that we need, and we out here, we letting what God has given us, we letting it be destroyed. Because everything you need is right here in the earth. Everything you need is right here in the earth. Um, Everything. It really is. Oh my goodness.
Especially somewhere like Belize. I'm just saying.
Absolutely. And then, you have them, they're cutting down, you have people cutting down the trees right now. The trees are meant for your shelter, meant to purify your air, and people cutting down trees and talk about it's tree worship. They ain't really worshiping they ain't really worshiping the tree, because they shouldn't be cutting it down if they're really gonna worship the tree, because you just took away, you just pretty much
Let
sent
me
the
tell you
tree
how
on
dumb
another
they are
culture.
here in Chester County. So I live in Chester County. Just in 5 years, the amount of trees that they have gotten rid of and put up, of course, there's these like, tin can $500,000 houses everywhere, right? The ones they throw up in like a weekend. Like, oh shoot, I was just here Saturday. This housing complex wasn't here, them ones. And so they have, so this city is like hills, and then the city downtown is in a little valley, right? And so there's like not a tree to be found. The 9 acres, my property, is like some of the last trees in the whole vicinity of the city, right?
Please protect those trees. Please.
Girl, I am. Oh, hallelujah.
Please protect those trees.
Girl, I'm fighting for these trees. You hear me? I'm fighting.
Yes, ma'am. We need the trees, the birds, and the bees.
But let me tell you what
we're cracking. Those are three things under attack right now that we have to stand in the gap, as the caretakers of this planet, that God put in our care. Yes. We have to do what we can do, on our end to protect these trees, to protect the birds, protect the bees.
People don't make the connection between themselves and nature, but here's how in real time it's just so obvious, and it just drives me bonkers that they're just ignoring this and continuing to cut down the trees. Is the city floods now, like floods in ways that we've never seen. I'm 48 years old. I grew up here. Like I was 3 when I came to this city. We've never had floods. But the city floods like often now. And they're, oh my God, why are we getting all these floods? You cut down
what God gave you to protect you. God gave you what you needed.
Now, what do you think is going to happen now? All those hills where there were forests, and when it rained, the trees, not only did they drink a lot of the water, but they held the soil in place so that every time it rained, the soil doesn't wash. Well, you cut down all the trees. Now everybody's, oh, what are we going to do about this flooding? There's nothing to do about the flooding. You created it, But I don't know. The wisdom, I'm reading in the book of Enoch, or maybe it's in Enoch. Yeah, it is. Maybe it's Enoch and the Days or something. But there's no good left in people's. They don't care. They want money and they want convenience.
Greed. It's greed versus gratitude.
Yeah.
We're not showing God gratitude. We're not showing the earth any gratitude. We're not showing each other gratitude. We're not showing ourselves any gratitude. Just being greedy and following behind devils, really.
Exactly. Learning the ways
and devils, following them and leading us right into hell on earth. Because that's what we're gonna be experiencing soon. If Christ in us don't rise up, because it is a time of war right now. And I have hope. What the kids was reading this book in our homeschool co-op. Oh my goodness. I recommend this book, not just for the children, for the adults too. I cried today reading this book. I really did. I was so encouraged.
Is that the lady that planted the forest?
Yes, Montgomery's Trees of Peace. That's what this is from Kenya. It's a historic book. It's a true story where she came to America to get educated, and she went back home. Kind of like what happened with you, Enzi. She went back home, and they had cut down all the trees around her village. It looked like a desert. Somewhere that looked like a forest before was now a desert. Wow. And because they were building up buildings, and the villagers were having to walk an extra distance to try to get firewood, and water, because the trees were cut down. And of course that went their protection too. I'm sure they were getting sicker too, because nothing's blocking the wind, ain't no shade, et cetera, et cetera.
Air, all that jazz.
But she started planting trees, and she faced a whole lot of opposition, and I was really encouraged about the way that she overcame that opposition. It really gave me hope. It really gave me a lot of hope, because, you have a lot of people out here that will say, well, we're never going to experience heaven on earth. Things are never going to get better. And I don't believe that, that God ain't tell me that, what's the point? That ain't what God said.
Obviously, the goodness of God in the land of the living. I'm on team in the land of the living.
Absolutely. And that's not scripture. So, you know, and I'm not, yeah. Anyway, um,
Very good.
so,
Very good.
I like to walk by faith, and, that really encouraged my heart, that our work is not in vain. Even every little seed that we sow is important. Every little seed that we sow is important. And it's important for us to keep sowing those seeds and keep being obedient and taking care of what God gave us to take care of it, and being appreciative for the things that we have around us. All of us have things that we can do, right here, right now. um for example, I did a little project with the children. I don't know if that was last week or the week before. I think it was last week. We were on break, homeschool break, vacation. So we did a little project last week, about happy earth, sad earth. And I even learned from this project, and I was convicted too, because there's so many little things that we should be doing that we're not doing. Like, we are literally making the earth sick. We're putting stuff that the earth needs. The earth needs food. The earth needs to be fed. The earth needs to be watered, and we are keeping good things from the earth and putting bad things in the earth. And I'm like, this is like a no-brainer. This is like common sense. Like, we are, excuse me, I know everybody don't want to hear this, but we're pooping in the toilet, right? And really, the earth needs that poop. Like, we're not thinking about that. The earth actually needs that poop. And we are throwing our banana peels, our apple cores, our seeds. We are throwing seeds, constantly throwing seeds in the trash. And I'm like, man, I'm gonna have to figure this out. And where I live, we don't even have recycling here, or anything like that. And I can tell, I tried to start my garden last year, and I got very frustrated. Because it didn't go like I wanted it to go. I was trying to plant it right in the ground, because people don't understand. You buying soil. The soil is right here. But you buying soil, and this is not. It's not real soil. This is, this is made soil for you. It's not healthy. You talk about you growing organic, is it? How you know? About the soil from who knows who, what's in it. But anyway, so I tried to, and I realized that the ground was sick, and it, stuff is still growing out of it. Certain things are still growing out of it. I'm grateful for what I do have growing, outside, because I have a lot of wild edible things that I could eat. God takes care of us, right? But I still go to the grocery store. But anyway, so I tried to grow my garden. I was really disappointed because the ground, I realized the ground is going to need much more love, and I didn't realize how much love the earth was missing, and how much love we need to give the earth so the earth will love us back, and that was just, just coming into a real understanding, of how we're operating backwards, how we're operating pretty much in the Antichrist. We're operating the Antichrist, which is anti-life. We are anti-life right now. Every time you, excuse me, I know people gonna be mad with me. Every time you poop in the toilet, you are functioning anti-life. And it goes for me too. I'm still pooping in the toilet. I'm trying to figure it out now. Like, I need to change this, I've been thinking about it for years, like, intuitively, like, I need to get a compost toilet, we need to do this, do that, and it's inconvenient, the transition is inconvenient.
Right.
But not doing it is actually more convenient once you transition. What we're doing now is inconvenient. It really is, because you ain't growing your own food. You eating stuff that's making you sick. It's backwards. We're operating backwards, very backwards right now. We could be recycling our plastics and our aluminum and things that are not good for the earth. Instead, we just, you walk down the street, you got litter all over the ground, making the earth sick. That's what you're doing, making the earth sick. You won't clean it. It's like, it's not washing your body, because we're made of the earth. When we die, our bodies go back to the earth. So it's like not washing your body when you don't clean the earth. It's like putting toxic chemicals in your body when you putting toxic stuff in the earth. You throwing the stuff in the trash. Same thing. You poisoning the earth. So it's a lot of little things that we can do. We drive these cars, it's polluting the air. We cutting down the trees. The birds don't have clean air. The birds don't have habitat,
Mhm.
and that's where they live. And we don't understand how important and how sacred birds are. It just goes over our head. I've been in a place where I've talked with the birds. These birds, they're like our guardians.
It
So
is.
we got this misconstrued notion that we're supposed to lord over lord over the animals, and like we not creation. It's crazy. Like we not a part of creation. We something separate, and that's demonic. That is so demonic, and we don't understand how demonic it is. We don't understand who and what God really is, who and what the creation really is, who really is the creator. Yeah, I asked my little girl, I said, yes, the other day I had to explain to her why we didn't have a Christmas tree.
Mhm.
Because she saw a purple Christmas tree in the store that was, that's so pretty, mama. I want one of those. I said, no, baby.
We
It
don't do
looks
that.
pretty. I know it looks pretty. I know it does. It does look pretty. But we don't worship trees, yes. We're not gonna worship
Mhm.
trees because that's what this is. They're decorating this tree, they're bowing down, putting presents of the tree, whether they are conscious of it or not, this is tree worship. And
Mhm.
we're not gonna worship the trees. If we're gonna really love the trees anyway, we need to be planting the trees
How about that instead of cutting them down?
because we need the trees.
Mhm.
It's craziness. I had to explain to her why we weren't gonna do that. And I asked her, I said, they're worshiping the tree, but you're not supposed to worship anybody but God, right? Yes. And she said, yeah. And I said, where's God at? Yes. I said, is the tree God? Yes. And she said, no, God is in us, mommy. And I said, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. you know,
Good
but
girl.
yeah, God is life. And when we don't respect life and we're not taking care of life, we're operating in an antichrist mindset.
Mhm.
We're
That's
operating an antichrist mentality. Um, so
And
yeah,
that's deep when you just put it that way, because I think that people don't consider the seriousness of their unnatural ways, that it is literally
repercussions.
operating in the Antichrist
Yes,
movement.
it
Like
is.
that's the agenda of the Antichrist,
Yes, it is.
the
Yes, it is.
violation and the distortion and the destruction of this natural realm, because of how it mirrors the spiritual realm and because of the position we were put in, right? To be able to design it, right? To be
Mhm.
architects of it, and
Right.
to be architects of its destruction is literally the Antichrist. And there's so many habits. I mean, everything. That's why the Most High even tells us to come out. Like, it's very interesting to me that He should draw me back here to PA, because, like, the Most High, like, really showed me how it's impossible to live in America and not sin, because of every single thing that you touch is attached to blood. It's all attached to blood. Every pump, every gallon of gas, every sip of soda, every sneaker, every lip gloss, every hairbrush,
There has to be a complete change. There's no way around it.
all
There's
attached.
no way around it. There's no way around it. It has to be a complete change, a complete shift of power, a complete shift of mindset, of thinking. And I think I'm gonna see it. I don't think it's gonna happen after I pass. I think I'm gonna see it. That's what I feel in my spirit. And I trust God. I trust God. And I believe God. So and I think it's already happening. Most of
And he
most
said
of
he
us
was
don't
going
know
to
it's
make
already
it.
happening because they're trying to keep it secret.
I know it's the truth, but
But
the word says, he says, I'll make quick work of it. So, like, we
absolutely
seen it start, we gonna see it finish.
right. That's why the enemy's working so hard now.
Mm,
Working
mm,
real hard to try to get that few last yards out.
exactly, exactly.
few years of power, whatever however long they're gonna have it.
Mm.
Absolutely. Ebony is from Pennsylvania too. Um, I hope she jumps in. I know she's busy. All right. But hopefully she'll jump in and chat it up with you, Jetty.
Jetty's almost going to bed though. I tell you, I rise very, very early.
I hear you.
My son I take
I
my
hear
son to work
you.
at 4. So, and then I don't come, like, it takes me, if I go back to sleep, it's not until like 9:30 or 10 I might catch a nap. But typically, I don't even catch that nap. So
Absolutely.
when I get up to take him at 4, I'm usually up.
All right,
So
so I just want
by
to
this
talk
time,
about some
I'm like,
solutions real quick. Quickly talk about some economic solutions so we can build black wealth.
yeah.
Definitely some of the things is black banks and lenders.
Mm,
We can make sure that we're putting our money, keeping our money in house, and using all of our strength, which is one another, your cousins, your cousins, because that comes back to you. Definitely want to talk about black banks. And, my husband actually has a lending association, and there are black banks out there that we could utilize. Um,
Make a point about black banks, and this I think pertains to black businesses in general. Like, we have to stop comparing the experiences that we have in black establishments with the experience that we have in
Here
the
we go. Yes, ma'am.
it's really unfair, right? Like, you cannot compare Wells Fargo's 400 freaking year history of building wealth and building an empire to a black bank that maybe started 40 years ago. And you
And
go
didn't
into
have
Wells
slave labor.
Fargo experience is going to be a very different experience than that black bank. And it's really unfortunate to be like, this is why I don't deal with black people, because we don't have nothing. Wells Fargo has this and the black bank don't have that. And Wells Fargo sends me cookies on my birthday and the black bank don't. Like, we do this to black folks all the time, where we're looking
Ooh,
for
we.
the American experience out of black people, and we're not Americans. We're not going to give that experience.
And they
And
used to throw our black babies to the wolves. I mean,
yes,
now they're giving you kickies and you think that, I can't
you
get with
know,
it. I'm sorry. I can't get with it. No, 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 no,
I'm letting
no.
you escape. All right, I gotta mute you guys for a second so I can yell. Sorry.
Yes, okay, no problem. So definitely, I'm gonna have my husband come in a little bit to talk about the lending association that he has as a resource for anyone watching now, presently, or in the future. Um, Somebody dropped. I don't know what that is. Okay. Um. So I'm gonna keep going. All right. So I'm gonna have him do that a little later. We definitely need more black businesses and black banks. We support our black banks. We can have more black businesses because the banks. That's how we get the loans, right? So we gotta support the black banks, or otherwise, you um going to your enemy to get a loan. I mean, people who don't like you, if it's not obvious that they don't like you, I mean, they don't like you. So, um, so I mean, it's not a good place to go. So we do need to support our black banks, our black lending association, so that we can have more black businesses and get loans. Somewhere that is not as difficult to get them. Because you can't complain. It's crazy. You can't go begging somebody who don't like you for something and complaining that they won't treat you won't treat you won't treat you like you want to be treated. It's just some craziness. If I was in a relationship, an abusive relationship with a man who just beat on me, like, you begging that man to respect you, it's not gonna make that man respect you.
I'm
Um,
still trying to get over forcing people that hate you to feed you food. Like, in what reality do you hate my guts? You don't even want me at your house, and I get somebody to force you to feed me. Why would I even eat that? Like, I don't understand. First of all, who wants something that somebody don't want you to have that bad? But why would you even trust them to feed you? If I hate your guts and somebody's forcing me to feed you, you best believe you're going to eat a lot of stuff that you didn't know you was going to eat.
Right. So you done signed this contract for the loan now. What's in the fine writing? A lot of times they even doing the loan because they know you got potential, but really they planning on taking what you got. So we just got to be wise. We got to be wise and we got to be strategic because this is chess. This is not checkers. You can't just think about right now, 2 weeks from now. You got to think about generations from now. This is chess. We are playing chess with our futures. um, with the future of this planet, with the future for our children, all of that. And we got to do a better job of supporting our entrepreneurs. When you see somebody, somebody who's doing something, they're working hard to sell something. Don't try to undercut them. Don't be looking for a discount. A sale. Don't be comparing them to your mall store that you go to. The sister making cream by hand. She don't have no manufacturer. Come on, y'all got to do better. Y'all got to do better.
Oh,
Her time is going into this. It takes a lot of time to do that. When you got a loan and you're a business owner, you're able to delegate some of those things when you have more resources. So you have more time to focus on other things. But entrepreneurs don't have that. Entrepreneurs are doing it all themselves, and they need all the support they can get so they can build up to having a business. So we have to do a
one
better job supporting each other and not knocking each other down, for sure.
one way I taught myself to support Black businesses is, instead of, like, let's say Facebook or Twitter or wherever you see stuff that you see, when that advertisement comes up, that sister's share or that brother's share, and it's that thing that they do that you've been telling yourself, oh, I need to whatever, try it, right? Or I need to support. Do it right then. Even if it's a sacrificial purchase, if it's your last little, you only got $23 in the bank, and this thing is $17.99. Do it. Still do it right in that moment, because those little moments of opportunities that you do not miss do add up in the Black economy.
Yes,
But
do.
if
Every
you,
dollar counts.
yeah, every dollar counts. But what happens is, if you don't do it in that moment, then when you do go to purchase that thing or whatever, you're going to go to your defaults, which are the stores that are closest by you. So, like, maybe you wanted to try the sister soap, but you didn't try it when the message came up. So when you need soap, you're not necessarily going to remember to find that sister. You're going to go
Gotta be
to
proactive.
Target. Right. So, like, I really taught myself to support Black businesses by, when I see the advertisement, if I'm able to support in that moment, to just do it, even if it's small. Like, let's say they have some $40 item that I really want, but I can really only do like under $10 today. I'll still make the under $10 purchase, right? I'll just do what you can in that moment. That will really help to train you to, or, well, it helped to train me.
That's
It's
a good
helped
tip.
to train me to be more supportive of Black businesses, instead of just by default ending up, at Target.
That's a good tip. And also on the flip side too, if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a small business owner or a large business owner, you have to understand that the majority of our people, melanin dominant people here in America, cannot afford certain things. So you can't be hijacking the price. You can't be selling it 3 times higher than the other folks. Okay, you can't be doing that now. Okay, because then when people want to support you, it makes it very difficult for them to support you. So we don't want to make it difficult for people either. We want to make it easy for each other, okay, to be successful. Because I don't want to be a vampire. Don't become a vampire trying to suck blood, okay? Because you trying to suck blood out of something that's already struggling. It don't make sense. If you're gonna suck blood out of somebody, go get the big fat juicy. Got inheritance from generations from your ancestors. Go suck on that. So you can get some blood. That makes more sense. Just throwing that
Yeah,
out
I was
there.
I was gonna add too. Hi everybody. I'm just hopping on.
Hey,
Um
Ebony.
I don't even know if I should do an introduction. I don't know. It's been
Shalom,
so long.
shalom.
Shalom. But I was gonna add, I love getting all gifts. Like anytime I'm about to gift anything, I always support a Black business. Um Whether it be like creams and hand stuff, or I know people that make wine. I always go to them first. Like
Absolutely.
any type of celebration, that's my go-to. And
Absolutely.
yeah, I think it's easy like that. And everyone always loves something that is uniquely purchased for them.
Right.
Because I know
And
a lot of people that
Kwanzaa's a
will
good time for
customize
that
sets
too.
too.
Sorry for cutting you off.
No, I'm saying I know a lot of people that will customize sets too, and they'll keep it for the same price because they just want your business. So
Absolutely. And Kwanzaa is a good time for that. I love Kwanzaa. I'm hyped right now about the holidays. So um, I'm hyped right now. But Kwanzaa is a great time for that. Kwanzaa, one of the principles of Kwanzaa is to make, you make handmade gifts and you give handmade gifts, and who better to get a handmade gift from than us, a entrepreneur, a small business owner. Those are the best people to find a handmade gift, so, or you can make the gift and that's going to help you save some money too. And definitely, we want to make sure we keep our prices reasonable when we're doing that as well. Let's see. Also make sure you're doing good business and providing jobs. Um, that's something that I'm trying to make sure that I'm doing. I do have a virtual home. I do have a virtual call center, and I do hire. I want to get to the point where I have I'm working on something else. I don't want to give it all away, but I am working on another venture where I'm providing office space for single Black women. Um, Specifically. Of course, I'm not going to discriminate, because you can't do that in business. But I am specifically going to be looking for and providing space for single Black mothers, and also stay-at-home moms who are working on their businesses. Um, I can't give it all away. I want to give it away, but I ain't gonna give it away. I can't give it away, but I got a big plan that I'm working on. I'm really excited about it. Of course, privately, I can trust y'all. So privately, we can talk about it. Because I'm super excited about it. I see that it's gonna be happening soon. Um, but we have to work together, and we all have something that we bring to the table. It's important for us to have discussions with one another, online, offline, when we meet each other. What are you working on? Take a second to ask people, what are you working on right now? What's you working on right now, business wise, spiritually, you know what are you working on, so we can see how we can help one another. If you see another good natured, you know melanin dominant individual, I ain't talking about them other folks. I'm talking about us. When you meet somebody and you know that they one of us, make sure you ask them, what are you working on, so that we can help each other. And you tell them what you're working on, so we can see where we can fit in and help one another. If we don't talk about it, then we won't know. So we have to draw on all of our strength, right? All right, so I think that's all I got on my list. Unless somebody has something they want to add. Trying to think. No, I think I covered everything I wanted to cover for tonight. Things we can do. If anybody want to add to things we can do to make sure we preserve the Earth's resources, or you know, preserve our resources, please chime in.
So I happen to keep some random statistics in my brain. 29,000 mature trees a day are cut down for toilet paper alone for the world. 29,000 mature trees. So that means 20 years old or older. Um, for toilet paper. So, isn't that Ebony crazy, right?
It's ridiculous.
29,000 a day. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Oh,
What
it,
our alternative is, Jetty?
right. There
And
are
we're a family of 8, so I'm just like,
Yeah, I'm listening too. I'm like, because we definitely be using some things.
okay,
yeah.
and then we all got sinus problems, so we go through twice as much as the average family. I think it's really terrible, and so I have not made the switch yet. This is something I keep saying I'm going to do. I literally was on last night, on this website, and dang, that's a lot to pay though. But
What our alternatives is? What's the alternative?
So there are toilet paper companies that are making toilet paper out of recycled stuff, out of hemp. Hemp is the bestest alternative for toilet paper.
But
So
God did provide us with toilet paper. We
I
can
know
go
there's a lot of
outside
herbs that, like
and get some
natural
leaves.
leaves that you can use. Yeah, there's like
That
leaves that you can use that have
water
natural
too.
cleanser inside that are gonna like clean your bum and your hand as you use it and all this stuff. But
But you know what the best solution is, Jetty, is to get a bidet.
I know it's right.
That's
Do like the Muslims do with their extender bottle.
Get a
Take
bidet.
you-
They sell bidets online for like $25-$30 that you can attach to your toilet and rinse your bum off.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, I got one for free 99. Okay,
Look at
you
me
got your dish soap bottle. When your dish soap bottle is empty, just keep it by the toilet with water in it and just spray yourself. Like
yeah, or you don't even have to buy a bidet.
Girl,
you
listen,
put it in a spray bottle.
the
Absolutely.
Muslims done showed me that one.
Absolutely.
Muslims showed me the extender bottle.
Rinse your bum off, pat it dry. You don't even have to use tissue. Get you a rag.
Yeah.
And pat your bum dry.
So I know, I don't know if any of you've had hospital births or birth center births, but they give you that bottle.
The Perry bottle.
Yeah, the Perry bottle.
Mm-hmm.
I have like a couple of those when the pandemic hit, because that toilet paper frenzy.
Oh
I
yeah.
said, oh no, I ordered them. Everybody was ordering toilet paper. I ordered a couple of those. So I've been using those here and there. So it's like I haven't made that switch either. But knowing that, I didn't know about the 29,000 mature trees. Like that's major.
Just toilet paper. That's not notebook.
We gotta do better.
That's not paper towels. That's not the crap they wrap your Amazon stuff in. That's just toilet paper alone.
I'm talking to myself right now, Nanu. You need to get on the right side of the line.
Real talk. Me too. Like. But that's
so easy. That's so easy. When you talk about toilet paper, that is so easy to do, and it's better for your bum. I can't even really use tissue because it makes me itchy anyway.
Yeah, I have them guys
using a wipe or something.
In them.
Like buy a bidet for $20 or $30, or get you a spray bottle or a Perry bottle and a rag and dry your bum off. I mean, that's so simple, right? But we're not doing it. I am thinking about training my children, because then you have to retrain them. But you already trained them wrong, so it's your fault. It's your fault you trained them wrong. Now you gotta retrain them, right? Just like we're retraining ourselves. Gotta retrain ourselves back to God's way, right? The original way.
So we have a garden too, and what we've been doing is keeping up with our compost. So it's like it's super easy to kind of forget, but I've been really diligent about all of our scraps, every single thing.
Where are you keeping it at? What you keeping it in?
So during the off season, I just put the compost that I collect in my home straight into my raised beds. Like I don't.
Oh, you put it straight in the garden. I was thinking about doing that.
Yeah, you don't have to.
I don't want no animals to come and eat it.
Animals don't really. So once I put it in there, I just cover it with dirt, and we have everything. We call our backyard the Garden of Eden. I kid you not. We got deer, beavers, groundhogs, rabbits, squirrels, chipmunks, birds. It'd be crazy back there.
I'm gonna do it, Ebony. I'm gonna start doing it tomorrow, because I was so convicted the last few days, especially after reading this book, girl. Especially after reading this book, this children's book, but it
be the children's books.
It is historical. Yes, it is. And I taught that lesson on the Happy Earth series. Like, oh my God, now I know better. Like I know to do right, and I'm not doing right. Oh my God, I was so convicted, and I'm like, I'm looking at this banana peel and these potatoes that like I know they are too old to eat. I'm like, look, I can't. Girl, these potatoes have been sitting on the counter. Like, I cannot throw these potatoes away. I just feel like I just cannot throw them away. They're just still sitting there. And I'm like, what am I gonna do with these potatoes?
Right, I'm
gonna put it right in the garden. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna just throw that stuff right out there where the garden is. Thank you, Ebony. That's what I'm gonna do.
And after your lesson, my children asking me, why don't we recycle? I said,
go in the yard. Give it back to the earth. Oh my God.
Don't come for me. Do not come for me after her lesson like that. I said we're gonna start doing that. We're gonna start.
I did
It's
teach
just
the
so
lesson,
easy
right?
to
It's
throw it in
on
the
me.
garbage.
It's on me. That's for sure. It is on me. Yes, it is. These brilliant minds that we have, that we're growing and nurturing and guiding, holding us accountable. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to make them proud because they gotta live here. All our children have to live here. Our grandchildren have to live on this earth, unless they gonna, they can afford, one of them trips to a different planet.
Wow. From my understanding, they all gonna be in the metaverse anyway, so they ain't gonna have to deal with it.
Yeah.
I say that jokingly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. The metaverse, right.
Yeah. But I think it's important just to hone in on making subtle changes and just being mindful of our everyday actions and activities. And our children will pick them up, and we will pass on that baton to them, and they will continue to do what we've done and more, because it's in them and them to be great. Greatness is in them, so they will do it.
Absolutely. What else did we miss that we need to add to this list of things that we can do? We need to talk about what we can do, because we can definitely change this thing and turn it around. We can if we want to. If we want to, we sure can. It is up to us. You are God's hand in the earth. Can't be looking for nobody else to fix it. They ain't gonna fix it.
Did y'all talk about being plant-based? Like having a plant-based diet?
We did not talk about having.
supposedly they because of emissions and stuff. I think, someone quote me if I'm wrong, but the reason they're growing food to feed the animals that we eat, and
right
all the animals, yeah. So all the extra animals and their poop and their gas.
Here's where I am. I wouldn't say that people have to be vegan. I wouldn't say that. What I would say is, if you're going to eat meat, you need to eat something that's wild caught, or go catch it. Go get something that's halal.
Or raise it yourself.
So basically be vegan. Ain't nobody catching their food.
That's not true, girl. I love me some rabbit, girl.
What are you talking about? I know plenty of folks will.
I love me some rabbit, girl. Girl, I love me some rabbit. Look here.
We some city folk up here.
I used to be vegan.
Ebony, where are you?
I'm in Pittsburgh.
You're okay, because I'm just near Philly area.
I might have had me some ducks and some chickens.
Girl, you're damn. Like, I'm sorry to raise you just to eat you, but hopefully your life will be good enough that it's fair, because I'm definitely gonna eat me some chickens and things. Yeah.
But you're right on that. About eating, maybe not like wild caught or farm raised.
Right. Don't support the industry,
because they're saying like
the industry.
Yeah, shorten your food. I forget what they called it, but instead of getting food that is like from Florida to bring to Pennsylvania, eat locally. That's what I'm saying.
Right. It's better for the ecology. Right.
Yeah, that's a really important one. That one touches on so many aspects of. Hi, cutie.
Ezra.
Hi. How you doing?
Oh, look at that smile. Look at that smile.
But yeah, eating local, like, it solves so many problems, because like when you think of companies like Walmart and these big giants, when they come in, they kill local economies. And like the sad thing about like food not being local is, excuse me, how much of the nutrition you actually lose, because they have to harvest, like when you're talking produce and things like that, they have to harvest it early so that it doesn't rot before it gets to you, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not having the natural process of ripening, which is how those nutrients and things mature and develop in the fruit. So then they have to find some weird chemical way or some alternative way of fast ripening it,
Mm-hmm.
which all of these processes remove
Unhealthy.
important nutrients and stuff from your food. In general, you want anything that you eat to go through as few processes as possible, right? Because every time a food is processed, it's going to lose nutritional value.
So really, we all need to be throwing our leftovers out in the yard, and
And
then when
growing our
spring
own,
comes, going out there and see what's edible.
yeah, we do. We need to be growing and
Real,
producing our own food. Like that's just there's no getting around like self-sufficiency in general. I mean,
absolutely.
so because the Most High is slapping all of these corporations. They're not going to be there in
Right.
20 years or so, And I'm looking like 5. How are they going to make it 5 years? How are they going to recover from this Corona fiasco? Like,
Oh,
but
they're not meant
that's
to. They're not
gonna
meant
make
to
yeah,
recover.
there's no recovery. So
They're
then
not
we
meant
have to be
to.
saying to ourselves,
The birth
so
rate was already negative. It's not
girl,
meant to gonna recover. This is
done deal. It's a done
yeah.
deal, right?
It's just God
So then
gonna keep
what are we
coming with
doing, right?
it
How are we
until it's
preparing
done.
for that day when there is no Walmart, when there is no Tyson Foods, when there is no, how are we preparing for that? We got to be like growing, like the sister said, I got everything in my yard. That's where we need to be, all
Mhm.
trying to get to, Ebony. And that is one
Absolutely.
sad thing about my departure from Belize and my breakup. It's probably the only sad thing about my breakup. Is the fact that we had a wonderful food forest, or he had a
Oh
food
man,
forest at our
you
farm. Like
gave that up.
any day, listen, girl, any
Ooh,
piece
you
of
gave
this,
that up.
girl, I did. That sucker was
He must
me.
have made you real upset.
He could keep the food forest. He could keep. Listen, I left my truck. I left the tools. I left everything, girl. Bye. See you. Bye, mean guy. Okay. Bye bye, mean guy. And the Most High did a beautiful thing and replaced him very expeditiously. So,
Oh, wonderful.
and I was a good girl and I did not entertain anything until I was good and out of it and gone, done. And I did my little fasting and my little prayer. And the Most High was like, here you go. Here's a more suitable.
God is faithful. God is faithful.
Yeah.
Now, one thing we do need is more beekeepers. And that's a good business to take up. I would really love to be a beekeeper. I don't know nothing about beekeeping, but I fantasize about it because I love honey, and we need to support local honey too. Please go out and buy your honey anytime you can. Use honey instead of the sugar. You know.
I learned something really cool about honey, guys. If you're prone to allergies, whenever you go to a new location, sample the local honey. Eat it on your
Absolutely.
and I learned that like a couple years ago, and I forget to share it when honey comes up. But as an allergy person, that was really important information. It sucked that I was like all the way in my 40s when I found that out. It's very
Maybe that's why we haven't really had any colds or anything in a while. We haven't had anything in a while. And we haven't been eating perfectly, but haven't had any illnesses either.
I don't know if you guys. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I thought someone was talking. I don't know
No,
if
you good.
anyone touched on making their own like cleaning products.
Oh, absolutely.
I've been using this little concoction for my tub, and I absolutely love it because my tub is always so shiny and beautiful now. It's just baking soda, hydrogen peroxide, a little bit of dish soap, and some essential oils. I use tea tree oil and oregano because it's like antibacterial. But supposedly it's safer on like the drainage system and things like that. And then
I
also if you have
usually
little ones, if they digest it, typically it's a little bit more safer to use, your baking sodas and vinegars and stuff like that. Just add it to a spray bottle and
And we
go
make
at it.
our own
So.
toothpaste, which is funny because at first I'm like, is she getting ready to describe our toothpaste? Like even like making our own toothpaste, but it's pretty simple: baking soda, a little bit of coconut oil, salt, peroxide, and mint essential oil, and it's really nice.
I usually just use honestly, I just use some distilled vinegar.
Oh,
And I do like Dawn. I do prefer Dawn for a lot of different things to clean with. And some distilled vinegar. And definitely if you don't want to make your own cleaning products, you can purchase, there's plenty of black owned entrepreneurs that make cleaning products out there. Good Vibes is a good one. I don't know if y'all familiar with Good Vibes, but that is a good one. Um, yeah, that's the only one I know off the
I
top of my
know
head.
a sister here in where she's kind of in Memphis, but more in like what's it, South Haven, so it's kind of like Memphis. Um, she has a website and she has a lot of different products that she makes. The website or the brand is Sincerely Natural. So I know there's
Sincerely Natural.
Sincerely Natural. Yep.
All right, that's another one. So we need to make sure we're supporting each other as well instead of going out and buying these toxic chemicals. Make your own. It's very easy to make cleaning. Something that cleans. It really don't take much. We think it takes a whole lot because we've been conditioned to think that. But really it don't take much. Really, just some soap and water. Honestly, I used to make a liquid bath soap. I don't do it anymore because I don't really have the time. But I used to make a bath soap. So I used to take my black soap and make a liquid soap. Um, and I still will if somebody requests it, because I do have like a line that I did create, but it's not something I want to be doing on a regular basis. If I find somebody who's into skincare and stuff like that and is already manufacturing or something, I definitely get with them and give them, my recipe and all that. Because it was really good. I have something that actually gets rid of eczema too. Um, and so there's so it's like a bath soap, but you can use it to clean everything really. And the base of it is just black soap and water. That's the base of it. And I put a couple extra goodies in there. I'm not gonna tell y'all what my goodies is, but I put a couple extra goodies in there. And yes, it helps to get rid of eczema, and other skin conditions. It's really so good for the skin. Um, but yeah, make your own stuff for sure. All right. And I wanted to if y'all let me know if y'all got anything to add because I did want to let my husband get on here and kind of talk about the lending association that he has. Again, I am hiring people to work from home if you need a job, you know. Um, of course, I'm a musician, I have music out there. You can go to my website, goddessnanu.com. Um, and Jetty is a musician too. Before we get off the line, I'm going to play one of her songs that really helped me connect with her that I think is very fitting for what we talked about. We're just going to leave off on that note at the end, listening to Jetty. And let's see, do y'all have some websites or information y'all want to share before my husband gets on and talks about the Linden Association?
I just want to quickly just add one more thing to the list, and I really want to express the importance of homeschooling. I think
Absolutely.
homeschooling is like one of the number one ways that we can truly emphasize to our children and the future generation everything that we discussed. I so not solely, but I feel like maybe 80% of our homeschooling life is like unschooling style, where we focus on, gardening and making sure my children understand like what good soil looks like and how to pick plants and how to pick seeds, how to preserve seeds. Um, cleaning, understanding what these concoctions and things look like. So I feel like everything that we touched on could really be emphasized through homeschooling our children, but also keeping their minds away from anything that they don't need to know about and just putting into them everything that they need in their lives. So that was it.
Absolutely. And
Yeah.
on that note, we did touch on homeschooling a little bit. I called your name a couple times, but you were busy. But we
I'm
did
sorry.
touch
I was
on
asleep.
homeschooling.
I'm at work now. I'm up. Y'all trying to
Oh,
talk? I'm working now. I'm
right.
on call.
All
So
right.
My
what?
bad, I was sleeping.
But
Sorry.
we did touch
How
on
old are your
homeschooling.
kids in your homeschool network? Like, because I might need to link my little people. What ages are?
Oh, that's right. You can I'm gonna I'm gonna put it right here in the comments. It should post all the sources that we have.
Okay, good.
So I put my website, goddess9new.com. We have that. And then we have, you can actually to get more information about the co-op at theberkeley.org. We have our enrollment form. We actually have open enrollment right now. If anybody wants to join us, we have open enrollment right now. It's about to close soon. So go ahead and get your enrollment form in. If you do want to join our virtual homeschool co-op, we would love to have you. You do have to teach a class. Other than that, it is free. Um, so it is truly interdependent. We're dependent on you to teach your class, okay? And if you need help understanding, what kind of classes you can teach, because everybody has something to teach, you can definitely contact me and we can talk about it and I will help you, because there are things on our list that we need to be taught, that anybody could probably teach. So just have to, communicate about it and, you know, we'll work on it together. And that's going to be the birthguru.org. Or you can find us on Facebook, Interdependent Black Families. A virtual homeschool co-op. I'm typing that in. But you do have to fill out the enrollment form, even to join the Facebook group, because that's our discussion group, and our children are in there, and we don't know you until we know you, right? All right.
What you doing, baby?
And Ebony is one of my favorite teachers. And since we are on the homeschool co-op, I said one of my favorites. She's one of my favorites. And since we are talking about the co-op right now, she is we're on our break, but even on our break, she's making sure that she has a class open where the kids are coming in and practicing their drawing, because we are creating a coloring book for our co-op fundraiser. So please be on the lookout for our coloring book and our crayons and our t-shirts and such for our fundraiser, for us to have we haven't decided exactly, so I'm not going to give that away yet until we have it written in stone, what we're going to do with our funds. But it is going to go to the education of our beautiful Black children, okay? It's going to be something enhancing. We have enhancement experiences as a part of something that we do. So every month we have one or two parents that do like a field trip or something that enhances the theme for that month. So we do have a theme for each month. And they'll do something that enhances that theme. Like they might go to the zoo and like virtually we're with them, or they may record it, something like that, or they may everybody's watching a movie together, or something. So every month we do something that goes with the theme. So our we're raising money for us to do something that we can actually, instead of us doing it virtually together, virtual field trips, we can actually have a physical field trip that we are doing together. And it's not gonna break the books, because we're all at different, social economic levels. There's no discrimination there. If you're Black and you homeschooling, come on. So that's where we at. We want to make sure that there's no division there as far as us meeting up. And that's really what our fundraisers for. And anything else that the children might need to really enhance their education. I'm sure we'll come up with some other things too. We have a lot of brilliant parents. This book was recommended. This actually was recommended. We actually read this in Spanish first and then read it in English. So Alice actually recommended this book. Yeah, Alice did a thing, Alice came through for us. She came through. Alice came through. So thank you, Alice, if you're watching this. Thank you very much, Alice, for recommending that book during Spanish class. It really impacted my life. I cried today. I really cried reading that book today. I really did. I cried reading that book today. It was just so inspirational. I don't know what it was. It was just so inspirational. I'm reading this story. I'm like, man, she just kept sowing her seeds, man. She kept sowing her seeds. They were coming against her. They put her in jail. They beat her. You know what I'm saying? And she just kept sowing it. She said, no, I'm going to keep sowing these seeds. Overgrowing trees, y'all. Overgrowing trees. Demonic. That's how demonic people are. This is really, we're talking about the real Antichrist.
Is
this
this
is
one
the
of the
real
audio?
Antichrist we're talking
Is this
about.
one of the audiobooks that she posted in the group?
No, we read
just
it
for class.
Was it audio? I don't know. Did we do the audio?
Well, send it to me. Send it to me. I wanna see it. I wanna see.
Yeah, but I told her to share.
We were
I
crying
went to Amazon and bought it. I got this off of Amazon and bought it because I was like, man, that's an amazing story. And I didn't even know about Wangari. Yeah, my husband is the historian. I don't really like history. He's like a walking encyclopedia. Literally, for real. I took him to meet some of my family members, like, oh my God, he's a walking encyclopedia. They just want to sit beside him, and listen to him talk. I'm like, oh my God. Y'all do not know every day. He's
That's
like
a blessing and a curse.
yes, he's like that every day, all day long. No matter what we talk about, we're watching a movie. He's like giving off facts. I'm like, look, I just want to be brain dead for a minute. Let me be brain dead, just for an hour today. I don't want to learn nothing. Yeah, but it's definitely a blessing. Definitely a blessing. All right. Anybody else have anything they want to add? Because I want to let him talk about the Linden Association real quick before we go and play Jetty's song. Anybody want to share their websites? Please share your information. Websites or social media pages where you're doing your business or your entrepreneur endeavors. Or Jetty, you can find her on YouTube. I'm going to share that in a minute. Nope. All right.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Shalom. Hotep. Peace. Free the land. Free the land. That's the thing that we're concentrating on. And this planet is being turned back over to the true shepherds of the planet, which are Black people. Our lives, our livelihood is connected to this land, is connected to the entities here, and connected to really build on a principle, a do for self type of mentality and principle. What you put in it, you'll get out of it. And our fight today is to be independent. That's our fight. To function independently, irregardless of what momentum the enemy has. And it's the enemy's momentum. And the enemy is anyone that is anti-life. Anti-life, and that's a strong word because it happens on so many levels. So when we say sickness, we function in a community that is literally attacking the lifeline. When I say community, I mean an organized system that is attacking the lifeline, both environmentally, economically, ecologically, and then biologically, because so many people end up with cancer and all these other viruses as a result of the evil activities of what's happening in this world. And It's not, trees is a great example, but it is the most it's the most understood example. But even beyond trees, we look at the water, the air, the entire globe. The entire globe is being poisoned by pesticides, poisoned by additives that are GMO, which is genetic modification, um, and we deal with it in every level of our life, every level of our life. So, but anyway, I didn't want to go on a tangent. I know that y'all have heard these things tonight, but it's important for us to become self-sufficient. We're in an environment, and in a global environment that taught you and I and forced our ancestors to become slaves and to become dependent on an environment that is unhealthy for us, food that is unhealthy for us, education that's unhealthy for us, religion that's unhealthy for us, because it's always anti us. Anything that we learn is anti us. And even in bondage, we survive, but we survive with a philosophy of adoration for a true God, which is a love of oneself, the Spirit of God that is in us. Spirit of God is in us, and that spirit is a love of life, appreciation of life. It's something that we don't talk about in our community enough, because the generations that have taught it have been killed or are dying, and the younger generation that is magnified in the same belief are being killed by the devil. And this is nothing new. The white man has done these things throughout the years. You even look in the Bible or any religious book or any religious text, you'll find that the white man, wherever he's been, he's always come to kill, steal, and destroy. And you look in religious texts, they tell us that. I don't care that's what the devil does. That's what the devil does. No matter where that entity is, no matter where that entity is, they always kill, steal, and destroy. And we're looking for Satan. We're looking for somebody that's with a pitchfork, a tail, and somebody with red skin, somebody with horns. And don't even know that you're looking at the white man. He's the devil every day. And many of them are born with horns and tails that have to be cut off. What's up? What's up? What's up? Ezra, what's up? There you go. He clapping. Clapping. Yeah. Right on, brother. Yeah, so we have to be cognizant of doing for self. I got on to talk about the lending association. I'm gonna do that, and it's very easy. This is very easy. You can. We have a lending association. It's called Cost Lending. Cost Lending Association, and you can plug in to Cost Lending Association or the Self Help Financial Association. Excuse me, by going to Cost Lending. You can look online to go into it, or going to the Independent Federal Credit Union. We type this in. All this technology I'm not used to.
It'll be in the comments. Their email or something they need to use to contact you, or
you can go.
Well, they have a website.
It's a small website on Twitter. There's a small website on Twitter.
Social media page.
A social media page, right? It's on Twitter. You can go to Cost Lending Corp. We also have a brother association to that association that's coming out again. And this is a federal credit union that's coming out. It belongs to the people.
Let's talk about that.
So this federal credit union, we have a gentleman that has been involved in finances, black gentleman been involved in finances for years. He and I served in the Navy together, and he has that already organized. And that should also be coming out. And his name is Arnell Willis. So the actual organizations, you can get loans. You can also become a part of it with investing. To be able to what do you call it? Benefit as part of the invested owners. And it's not
the bank grows.
As it grows. And it's not expensive like people think. It's not expensive. If you can set aside, and I tell people this all the time, if you can set aside $5 every 2 weeks, we'll blow $5. Hopefully you've been hopefully you've been delivered from candy bars, and hopefully you've been delivered from I call McDonald's, McDonald's, and Sonic. I call it Suck It. You know, you've been delivered from these places because you'll blow $5 buying a biscuit or a cup of fries from these places. But if you can put $5, oh yeah, definitely.
McDoo-doo.
And they do serve human meat, guys, in those. So don't, even if you go to them, never buy their ground meat, never buy them burgers. There's definitely human meat in them. Not to gross y'all out, but that's a talk for another day. There's definitely a lot of human meat in them.
Oh yeah.
Just go vegan. Just go vegan, like Ebony said.
Well, yeah. Just cut it. Just cut it all out. If you ain't running behind it, it ain't bouncing, jumping up and down, and you can't get it.
Or be wild like me. Put your rabbit trap out there.
Just yeah. But just cut it out. I go with just don't eat the meat. Just don't eat the meat, and just go cold turkey. Go cold turkey. And you could take $5 though every 2 weeks. Now, if you can save $5 every week, that's even good. Put the money aside, invest it in your own money market plan. This is helping your bank account as well as your credit, because you're putting the money in your market account. Every bank account has a market account. They don't tell you about it. You've been putting your money in checking and savings for so long until they won't tell you about a market account, because if you put your money in a market account, you can lend yourself money. You can literally create yourself credit cards and all that stuff. It's easy to do, but people think it's hard. You've seen churches get into lending associations. Churches have ATMs and banks and credit unions in them. Yeah, churches have it. They've been doing it for years. Well, now you can go, if you go to these Christian churches where these black mega pastors, they say they love you. And I'm just saying it because I know they say it. They tell you that they love you so much, and they talk white nationalism. That's what they teaching. Anytime you're teaching about a white Jesus or white God, you're talking white nationalism. And they'll tell you, and listen, and just hear this. They say, before you do anything else, if you want God to bless you, pay the church first. Now you'll never see that money ever again. You never see it, and he's already rehearsed on it. He's rehearsed on it. You'll never see it again. And these tithes that people have been paying for years, people have literally been paying these tithes for years. The church have become multimillionaires and never give one dime to the people. They don't have a mission. They don't have a lending institution for you or anything like that. Now they have it for themselves, but they don't have it for you. Imagine that. And the only thing they're doing is taking that money and putting it in a market account. So you got a market account. You can put that money in your market account, and you say, hey, I want to invest in this federal credit union. Guess what? You've created a credit card from your own account. You can invest in a credit union or whatever else you want to invest in. You could even create your own lending association. I tell people that, And I said, because, this knowledge is too good for me to keep myself. Don't just say, well, let's go to his credit union. Well, we've gotten all the investors that we could possibly need. I tell people, look, yeah, you can invest in cost lending corp. You can invest in it, but why not you do the same thing? I tell people, do the same thing, recreate it if you want to, or invest to learn to recreate it, because that's what we do with partners. We tell them to, hey, now that you've learned and seen what we're doing, and you come to these meetings or whatnot, so now you should do the same thing, and become a lender in your community. There's a and this is very, you can
how does one even get started on this? Like, what's the journey? I mean, I'm assuming that can't get into all the details at this moment, but like
your money market, you got a money market attached to your account. And I teach it on the college campus on what they call Black Business Wednesday. But
they can't virtually sign up for that class.
Yeah, if they're out of state. If you're out of state, you can sign up for it. When we start back January.
I'll put the information on the on the Birth Guru.
That information.
Facebook page.
Right.
I'll make sure I share it.
Beautiful. Sorry to interrupt the train of thought, but I'm very interested in this.
Yeah, definitely. And I have a book to show you how to do it yourself. There's a book on Amazon that I have 6 number 1 bestsellers. This particular book is called Private Lending. It's called
by you.
Yeah, of course. Yes, okay. It's a book.
So let me type your name.
Oh, go ahead.
So they can.
Yeah, go ahead.
I gotta sit down. I'm sorry. I just want to make sure I type it in here. So that's Private Lending.
Private Lending. Private Lending. Just go to Amazon.
What's the whole name of the book? Is it Black Power?
It's Black. It's Black
Private Lending.
Private Lending.
Black Private Lending.
But if you go to Amazon, the official site, type my name in, the book will come up.
Okay, so if you type his name in, all his books probably will come up.
Yeah, it'll come up.
Okay.
It'll come up. My name is Dr. Madison.
Black Private Lending.
Right. And go to the Amazon official site. When you go there, type that in, the name will come up.
Okay, I'm just gonna see it over.
Okay. Yeah, if you go to Amazon and go to Black Private Lending, the name will type my name in it, and it will come up. The name that you see down there, Dr. Madison Millier. The book will come up. Other books will come up. They should have 25 on Amazon, 25 different books, but that financial book will come up. And I use the examples of Africa and all the other places. Africa have less money than us, but they're doing greater things. They have less.
You mean as far as Black people collectively?
For Black people collectively, wow. Exactly. They have less money than us.
We can do so much.
You could take one American dollar. $1 American is 140 Nigerian dollars.
If we come together.
And, right. So it's no way. It's literally no way that we can't make it. You could take a group of 10 people that would invest, each one of them invest $100 for 7 years, and they'll be exactly where they need to be. You could take 10, and I'm talking each of them will become collective millionaires collectively. So it's not a hard thing, and the larger the number, the better it gets. It's not a hard thing, but see, we're so used to being consumers that we don't believe in being owners. And I understand that. I can't. I don't know anything about poverty. My family. I was very sheltered. I never had that experience, and I'm often reminded of it. I never had that experience, and my wife is humble enough to tell me, to slow down, to teach things. But I know what it is to create. My family, things continue to grow. My mother, even in her older age, things continue to create. She's created a retirement fund that the banks are bought into. This is another business, and she's on the downslope. But she's created a retirement fund for independent business owners. I mean, just something. She said, I want to be able to give back. If this is what I can leave them, then this would be something for our community to get. And you know how she did it? She told people to take pennies and put it in a jar. Pennies.
Oh, wow.
Pennies. And she invested in the penny stock. And that turned what they call the economic retirement for Black business. Pennies. And I was surprised. Wow. I said, man, my wife, where did you come up with this? She was just sitting down and thinking, if you could get people to collect so many pennies, and you have so many homes that are doing that, and they turn it into one account, then each of them could get residual from that account. And it ended up being a $500,000 take. The stock cost no more than $1, and people continued to buy into it. $1. So for $30 a month, they can get retirement for themselves after 10 years and get more money than Social Security would ever give to them. And that's the thing. We have to be toward one another, be willing to give, have to be willing to share knowledge. Don't be prideful. It's the worst thing that you can do. If you don't share, you'll never have it. And we have to have a love and respect for one another. And whatever you know, I want to know it. I want to know what you know. And you should want to know what I know. And you should have the knowledge to be able to repeat what I'm doing, and I should have knowledge to be able to repeat what you're doing, because life is not promised to us. And the main thing for us that we should want to do is keep stuff going. We should keep stuff going on. If something happens to me or you or anyone, we should be able to keep something going, so that if something happened to me, then Sister Ebony or Sister Yeti or Jetty, Sister Achille, Sister Yeti or Sister Achille or Sister Henri or Goddess Nanu or whomever could repeat that and continue to make it go. And it shouldn't just end with one person. See, that's the white man's teaching. It's his teaching to be the man that's over this or the man that's over that. That's the white man's teaching. He'll teach you that. And he'll teach you that in clouds of judgment. But we should be able to repeat knowledge, repeat creation, repeat inventions amongst one another, and control the market of that. The same way that we control the labor market. And when you do this, you're well on your way. The brother that created the Federal Credit Union, he gave me and my cousin Kyle, he held a book that I had written. Book is about 10, maybe 15 years old. But he brought the book up to me. I said, where you get all this from? He brought it up to me, and he just polished it. He polished the knowledge and added his spin to it, and then created a Federal Credit Union. Now he's about to create the other one. So I'm happy to be a part of that, and I was very thankful for it. So it's a lot that we can do. Even this, what you all do in the virtual school, what you do in the virtual school is amazing. And it's now imagine you all doing it, you're donating time or whatever. Well, even as a nonprofit association, you could own a stock for it. And it's very easy. Very easy. As a nonprofit, if you all stay together, teaching how you're teaching, working how you're working, all of y'all could own the stock for the organization. And you already have control because you're inside teaching it. And it's Black. So if you keep it Black, it'll continue to grow. If you stay united, it'll continue to grow. If you stay united, it'll continue to be powerful. It'll continue to educate the community, because at this point, each one is officially teaching one. But the white man wants us to be divided. He wants us to envy one another. He wants us to have jealousy and strife toward one another. And the only thing it does is keep our community down. But when we're together, when we're working together, teaching together, and learning together, we're keeping the community united. And we're able to, God is turning this. I just want to say this, and I'm not going to go on a tangent anymore. I'm not going to go on a tangent anymore, but God is turning this planet over to us. He's turning the planet back to us. The devils are dying. COVID is something that God set and planned. They tried to create it against us. Same way they tried to create other diseases and pestilence and viruses against us. But it end up killing those devils every time they do it. It end up killing them. It kills them. So we're able to bounce back from that genetically. And if we don't trust them, stop going to these hospitals and getting these shots. You got to be wise. I mean, the man, you got to ask yourself financially, medically, socially, psychologically, and otherwise, why would this man who's been killing you and lynching you and dragging you behind trucks and cutting you and killing you in the hospital and choking your kids and feeding your kids to alligators and all this stuff, why would he turn around and want you to be healthy, giving you something that's supposed to help you lengthen or continue your life while you're out of your mind? If you think that way, he's not going to do it. So you got to know that anything that he does to you
might pretend if he can benefit from
it. Yeah, well, no, he's going to kill you. Yeah, he benefits every time one of us die. See, his generation is dying. They're dying 100,000 a year. The white man is literally being taken off the planet, and God, and in his respective names and term, is doing this to deliver us, and we are literally coming out of this bondage that the white man has us in, and he can't control it, he can't stop it, and so now he want to play nice because he know he's dying at such a rate. So when that time comes, you already know what you're going to do. You're going to do the same thing that he's been doing to you in power. You're going to do the same thing to him. If you don't believe that, you just keep living, and the more he decreases, you'll see how bold you get. And he's been and lost his mind because you have 120 people like me, 120 million people like me, thinking the way that I'm thinking and talking the way that I'm talking. He's going to lose his mind and kill himself. So we're being blessed when we do for self and when we organize amongst ourselves. We're being blessed. So, brothers and sisters, this Federal Credit Union and the Cost Lending Corp and money market. You have a money market account in your bank. You go to your bank and you ask them about a market account. And once you find out about it, or if you go online, you can actually pull it up. If you do online banking, you can pull up market account. And when you pull up that market account, you set you aside a little money, $5 a week. Set aside $5 a week. $5. And the minute that you build up to the place where you can invest, you invest. But the first thing you want to do is invest in yourself. I tell people, put aside money for yourself, a little bit in the baggie and a little bit in the purse. Put aside money for yourself and control your own lending. Get your own credit cards on your own because you can do it. It's not hard. You don't have to have that much money. And then once you've done that, then you get groups of people. I'm telling you the easiest way to do it, because this is in the book too. Find you about 10 people that you can actually work with.
And I'm gonna make a page on the website, and so that you all can see all the books on the website, just in case you can't type it in and find it on Amazon. So go to the birthguru.org, and I'll put on the website. Make sure you are linked to the YouTube page. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to the Birth Guru on Facebook and select to make sure you're getting notifications whenever I post. You do have to be proactive about it, so you get those notifications whenever I post. That way, when I have the information and I put it up, you can get the information.
And so you could thanks for the commercial break. you can you can do this yourself though. I tell people that's the best thing, and I like saying it. Because the more independent black people you get, the better off we are. But you can go to money market, $5 a week, and create your own lending source. And then once you do that, second thing is to get 10 people like yourself and have them, people that believe like you believe, and have them to build up the same way. And then when you all put back money for about a year, then you could take as a group, invest as a group, and each of you will automatically become partners. That's the easiest way to do it, and I tell people it's the easiest way to do it. And even if you don't decide to go to cost of lending or the Federal Credit Union, start your own. I mean, you have 10 people. Start your and you can and call me for advice. I want to see it. I will come to you to make that work. I'll come to you.
I actually have a question for you, and I hope that this doesn't make this conversation way too long and not apply to many people, but hopefully you guys will follow my advice and get yourselves registered as Indigenous people, and it will apply to you. But I'm registered as the national leader to revive the Olmec Nation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do I go about the process of actually, so I hold in my national trust a little bit of land in Belize and the value of 5 different farms. We've got different trees growing. So we've
Well,
got.
wait a second. I don't want you to put your personal information out. We can close
Um,
this out and we can keep talking. I want to make sure you're not going to put any personal information out there because you're going to have enemies watching us.
oh yeah, well,
Don't put too much information out there. But
okay.
we can finish this conversation privately.
Yeah. Well, I just figured it would be like it's some information that a lot of people wouldn't necessarily ever run across, but it'd be good to know. But it's fine.
Okay, go ahead. I just want to make sure you weren't about to
I'm
share
gonna hear
anything
you. I'm
too
gonna
private.
hear you. I'm gonna hear you,
Mhm.
and but I'll make sure after I learn whatever I learn to share it in a more neutral context. So you're right.
Well, basically, your question. Let me hear. Let me hear your
My
question.
question at the end of the day is how I can begin to issue my own currency.
Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So that's through a barter system. You already know that, and you'll start a resource. And I tell you this.
Which is technically not legal.
Well, I wouldn't say. It's not. It's not accepted. As far as legality,
Yeah.
that's something totally different. Because it's maybe not accepted, but you don't expect your enemy
Right.
to
We'll
accept
pay
you.
them in dollars, right? I don't care.
Right, right,
But I need
right.
when people move about the world and they deal with my other people moving about the world that we have a
Mhm.
way we can pay each other that cannot
Flexible.
necessarily be tracked, that doesn't have anything to do
Mhm.
with all of that, right?
With that
Now I
system,
did
yeah.
want to develop a social currency app for it, but I couldn't find the right nerds to
Like
develop it.
Bitcoin.
You can get token. How the Africans have done years ago, many years ago, had tokens, which they got the market for. If you look at Bitcoin, it's exactly what it is. It's just a token market. Now they're doing it virtually. But you could get tokens and decide what mineral you would like to use.
Mm,
Yeah, you can get token, decide what mineral you would like to use, and start with those tokens. And you could put a face of, for instance, your face. This area that you have, you can put your
maybe
face on
your
it,
face.
and on that coin, and start issuing that coin. When you issue that coin to about 1,000 people, just
Right.
1,000,
Yeah.
you could get it into circulation. Those 1,000 people are on your area,
Right.
and you begin to produce that coin and continue to build it up. They're using it, and that is a form, and something that is eco-friendly. They're using that, and that's the only thing the dollar is. It's a promissory,
Right.
nothing but a token, nothing
Right.
but a token, promissory.
And they ain't
With,
got what they promised.
yeah, with his
Yeah,
name on it,
they so
and
don't.
yeah, he can't deliver. So
It's a lie. It's a lie.
yeah,
Another dead tree. That's what it is.
we think it's
Oh,
it's
that's insane.
we think it's how do you call it? We give it value. We give the promissory value through
With
the
our collective consciousness.
collective action and consciousness. We give it value, but really, it has no value. It has no value. So, but you could easily, you grow up, if you use that currency, then children are born. Those children use those currencies, and then those children have children. They're using the currency. Then at that point, you're doing the same thing essentially. That in your land or your country, that this is what they use.
Right.
And if some other country come there, they're going to have to use that or invest. And by the time they're buying a stock in your currency, and how much is your currency worth according to their currency? and your currency may be more. It may take 140 American dollars to get to one of your dollars, one of your tokens. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And so you create worth and value, and the American dollar will decrease in value, and that is the reason why Muammar Gaddafi was killed, and other national leaders, Patrice Lumumba, Robert Mugabe, and all of these leaders, Pena, Malcolm X. This is why they was killed. Mm-hmm. They were killed because they talked about this kind of logic, and black folk have come into their mind to talk about this kind of logic. Anyone that talks about it, the Honorable Dr. Khalid Muhammad, anybody that talks about it ends up, in that place. So we've learned to be wise. There are those of us that are sent out to make these sacrifices, but hopefully it's not in vain, and people will catch it and run with it and build themselves up. And so that's what God is causing us to do. That's what Yahweh, Yahshua, is called Jehovah, is calling us to do in his different respective names. He's calling us to stand out. You come out of bondage. I said, last thing I want to say is this. When the children of Israel were coming out of bondage, there were those that fussed, and we should have stayed there in master's land. We should have stayed in Egypt. And so what God does is he says, okay, you want to stay in Egypt? Then I'm going to give you a mind to stay in Egypt. But the children 21 and below, they went on down into the kingdom land. And they took that land. They had to take it. Joshua and Caleb went into that land and said, hey, wait a minute, these people, we even see giants in this land. The first spies went out, they said, we can't take it. But when Joshua and Caleb, who was raised in the admonition and revolution of God, they said, hey, they're big and mighty, but we see a weakness in them. We can take this land. And the white man looks like a big giant. Today, he looks less fearless and less ferocious than he did yesterday, which tells us that we're coming out of this land, and there are those of us that say, hey, we can take this land. And you will see it. We will take it in our lifetime. The white man is falling now. And so we have to be ready to get all of this land and this money. And prophecy will be fulfilled. You have houses that you didn't build. You have wealth that you didn't have to sacrifice for. And you can get it all back. And when that day comes, you and I will be alive to see it. We'll be alive to see it. And our children will see it, and the children's children will see it. So we have to be ready for what God is doing. Salam alaikum.
Oh, hallelujah. Thank you. You done blessed me, took me to church.
Okay, wonderful.
Hallelujah.
And I have the link to the cleaning products. We had Good Vibes, and then I'm gonna drop the link to the other Nature Life. All right, thanks God for the brother. The baby started crying, but I gotta finish this right quick. Let me close it out. So I can give him some milk, get him back to bed. And I'm grateful to have somebody that helps. I know a lot of us complain, not having the help. So, I have my own personal complaints, but I don't dare to ever voice my complaints because it would sound like bragging to somebody else. So I understand. For real. All right. So I'm gonna close out. We're gonna close out with perfect way to close out after what the brother just said. Is with Jetty's song, Jah Promised. Before I do, I want to let you know you can go get my CD at my website. I do have the MP3 available. You cannot get the physical CD anymore. It is no longer in production. But you can get the MP3 of my album Within Out There. Okay. It has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8 songs on there. No, 9 songs and 2 instrumentals on there. So check it out. You can listen to it on YouTube. All the links are on the website, goddessnotnew.com. And also have my free birth book is out. A Comprehensive Guide to Free Birth, Normalizing Birth for Healthy Women. First edition. There are only 2 free birth books out there in the world. This is the only one by a Black woman. Okay. So this is for us. So that, we know that we can give birth to our own babies. We can handle our own prenatal care, our own postnatal care, and we can help each other. Okay. I prefer that you do get the paperback. Um, and make sure you have a physical copy instead of PDF, because then if you have a copy, guess what? Other people can come and look through it, and they can get the information that way, or, go get it, So this is a great way to help advertise. Please support me by not just getting the PDF. If you can afford to get the paperback, please get the paperback. And there I go. I got to show this. I'm proud of my book, y'all. All right, so this is the second one. This is my second book ever written, dedicated to all my children, born and unborn, biological and otherwise. So let's save our babies. Let's save our mamas and our babies. If you don't need the book, buy it for somebody else. Get it to some of these other sisters out here that don't understand that, you know, they can give birth to their own babies, that being pregnant is not a medical emergency, being in labor is not a medical emergency, and they don't have to put their lives at risk, because they are killing us in the hospitals. It's not stress, okay? It's not your cortisol levels are not high. Your cortisol levels are high because your body understands that you're in a dangerous situation, even if you are consciously dead. Okay, you don't understand. Your body understands I am in danger because God gave you instincts. Okay, just like the animals got instincts and they don't know what they running for, but they run, at a sound or a shadow or whatever. You have instincts too that God gave you, and you may not understand them, but you got them. And we need to stay out of dangerous spaces. And you can find more information you can buy the book at my website, goddessnotnew.com, or you can go to thebirthguru.org to find out more information about free birth and my free birth class. All right, and that's all I got. We're gonna end it out with Jetty. Love you guys. Thank you for showing up to the square table, where the queens meet. Okay, thank you guys for joining the conversation about how we can heal our planet and preserve all our resources.
Thank you for having me. Oh my gosh, this was lovely. I hope we do it again.
Absolutely,
Mhm.
I surely will. I'm trying to have a square table every quarter is the goal. Um, so our last one was a few months ago. So hopefully I will stay on point with it. That's my goal. And I'm trying to pull your music up right now. Just give me one moment.
Yes, it was nice talking with you, ladies. I enjoyed this immensely, and I look forward to the next one too.
I can't find the link. Jetty, can you please send me the link? I'm trying to find that song. I can't find it. I should have had it up. It's my fault. There go Enzy. Enzy, you want to say goodbye to the peoples? No, your mic is real messed up. It just sounds mechanical. It must be probably cordless or something like that. Okay, that's why, because it's black and light. There it is. I found it. We can't hear you though. So don't worry about it. Peace. All right, so we're gonna end out with Jah promise. Yah promise.
Where do you want me to stick it in your
I
face?
got it now. I got it
Oh, you
now.
got it. Okay.
Yep. I'm finna share my screen.
I never told you this walk was easy for faint of heart. It's for the strong, those who endure until the end. Whoever told you you could walk this path in your convenience, that will not work. In fact, it's absurd. Y'all promised you a war. Y'all said that you'd be tortured, mocked, hated, abused, misunderstood, and used. Y'all promised you a fight. You said the devils hate your light, said they're coming for your life, so you better learn to fight instead of trying to be light. What was unclear about that? Are you ready to turn back? Your crown is on the other side of all the chaos you must navigate. But hurry, 'cause the hour is late. Yah told us not to wait. He's closing all the gates. Your choice will seal your fate. 'Cause these are the end times, baby. It's not a matter of when or maybe. Yah promised you a war. Yah said that you'd be tortured, mocked, hated, abused, misunderstood, and used. Yah promised you a fight. He said these devils hate your light, said they're coming for your life, so you better learn to fight instead of trying to be light. 'Cause these are the end times, baby. It's not a matter of when or maybe. It's happening now. The shit is going down. Now you acting all surprised 'cause you fell for all the lies. They pulled the wool over your eyes. Now it's on you. What you gonna do? Yah promised you a war. Yah said that you'd be tortured, mocked, hated, abused, misunderstood, and used. Yah promised you a fight. He said the devils hate your light, said they're coming for your light, so you better learn to fight instead of trying to be light. What was unclear about that? Are you ready to turn back? Cause these are the end times, baby. It's not a matter of when or maybe. It's happening now. The shit is going down. Yah promised you a war. Yah said that you'd be tortured, mocked, hated, abused, misunderstood, and used. Yah promised you a fight. He said the devils hate your light, said they're coming for your life, so you better learn to fight instead of being light.
By advertising on YouTube, I grow my business by reaching my most important customers, people like Allison. She's a
We're beginning to